I've been on the search for the right photo camera while cycling for a long time, and I think I found it. Hello, my name is Philip. I'm 29 years old and a photographer and cyclist based in southern Germany, and I'm taking photos for 10 years. And when I started cycling, I always had the question, how can I make photos while riding my bike? I tried various setups and I think I might have found the perfect camera, the Ricoh GR IIIx. The most important thing for a camera while riding for me, it's definitely the packability. I don't want a camera to go on my way while cycling. I just want to have it easily reachable for me. I don't always want to use a strap, and this camera makes it very easy for me because I just can put it on the side pocket of my bibs, or I can put it on my jersey, which makes it very easy and convenient to use. Besides that, it has outrageously good image quality for the size of it. It has an APS-C size sensor. For you guys who are not really into camera specs, just for you to know, it's quite a big sensor for such a tiny camera. It delivers very good image quality, and I'm very happy to use the photos and to edit them in Lightroom. Besides the RAW capabilities that this camera has, it has also very good JPEG profiles, which look good right off the box. For me, I normally tend to edit all my pictures, but if I want to use some photos for Instagram stories, for example, I just download them from the camera and just upload them straight away to Instagram. So yeah, if I want to use good quality photos and don't have the time to edit, I can use the JPEGs. This camera also has image stabilization, which makes it very convenient while using it on the bike. For example, if I want to take photos of a rider while riding and I want to have the road blurred and the rider still sharp in frame to really give like the intention of speed, then it's much more easier with the image stabilization. In terms of accessories, I don't tend to use a lot, but the most important accessory that I have is this little strap I put on my camera, and it makes it much more secure while riding. So yeah, while riding, of course, you're going quite fast and you have to concentrate on the road. So having a strap which makes it secure makes it much more easier and give me the trust that I just don't lose it while riding. So yeah, if I have it like on my wrist like here and I just let it fall, for example, if I have to go fast on the brakes or so, I'm sure that I don't lose my camera. Another quite new entry to my setup is the silicone case. I thought that I maybe try to protect my camera with some kind of case, because while riding you are sweating quite a lot, and yeah, for my camera not to break down too early, I thought I may secure it with this silicone case. But yeah, not sure yet if it really works. I realized as well that some moisture can come under it, but for now we'll just test it out. I have two other accessories which I didn't use yet on the bike, but yeah, I'm keen to try them out. For one, it's like this small little flash, which produces very cool photos. I don't use this camera only for bike rides, also for personal stuff. And that's why this flash came in handy. But I think it could also really work quite well on the bike, so yeah, maybe I will give it a try. And I have a small little thumb grip. Until now, I didn't feel the need to feel more secure while holding it on the bike. Just having the strap just gives me the confidence that I won't lose it. And yeah, I never dropped it until now, so yeah, not sure if I will use this on the bike. When it comes to settings, there are a few specific settings that I use for my bike rides. First of all, I always tend to use it in TV mode. TV mode lets me just control the most important setting for me on the bike, and that's shutter speed. I from there can just give the image the look that I want. For example, if I want to have everything perfectly sharp, or if I just want to have like the bike rider sharp and everything else around it, just have it blurred, give it a certain blurred effect, which just gives it much more look of speed. In terms of menu settings, we just go through all the settings that I find important for bike rides. For focus mode, I just use select AF, and face and eye detection I leave off. In terms of AI metering, I use center weighted metering. And defilter, you can use it optional if it's very bright outside and you want to have like blurred photos with a low shutter speed. That's where the ND filter option can come in handy. White balance, I use auto white balance. And drive mode, I normally use single frame shooting. You can use continuous shooting if you want to have like a lot of photos that can come in handy while, for example, riding and to take the one perfectly sharp photo of the rider. But for me, actually, often that results into too many pictures to sort out, so normally I use single frame shooting. File format, I use a RAW plus JPEG, so I can edit the RAW files later and use the JPEGs right away if I need them. JPEG record pixels I put on L, so the highest setting. And image control, that's where like the preset for your JPEG comes in. I use positive film quite a lot, I really enjoy it, but to be honest, I didn't try it many out yet, so yeah, there are quite a few to try out. Movie settings, I don't use it all, I don't film with this camera, and as well as for the next one, I don't use this menu setting as well. For customized settings, most importantly is the touch autofocus. I leave it off because sometimes while riding it just puts the focus point somewhere else. I always use a spot autofocus, as you can see here in the center, and yeah, it works very well with it, and I just focus on the subject I want to focus on, and maybe then I compose later if I don't want to have the subject in the middle of the frame. I just press half the button so it focuses and then I compose. But yeah, normally while riding the subject 70–80% of the time is in the middle, so yeah, it works perfect with this center point focus. And for the last menu point, the most important setting I use there is the outdoor view setting. So that's like the brightness of your camera. I tend to use always +2 because when being out it's very bright, and yeah, the LCD screen is not so bright, so I just use it at +2 to have all the brightness available. When it comes to the settings in my shooting screen, like I said, I use TV mode as my main shooting mode, so I can adjust the shutter speed with my front dial. When I want the photos to be sharp, I usually use a shutter speed around 1/500th of a second or above. And if I want to have like a blurred image, I use a shutter speed around 1/50th of a second. As I tend to use the center weighted exposure metering mode, I have to adjust the exposure value sometimes. I just darken it down a bit, and normally I use an exposure value where you can see here around minus 0.7 and minus 1.3. It depends a bit how dark or how bright I want to have the image. And I forgot to mention one thing, I use auto ISO when taking photos in TV mode. The main downside I found on this camera is the autofocus. It most of the time works quite good, but it's not as snappy as I know my autofocus from my other cameras, like the Canon camera I'm filming right now. And for that it sometimes misses the shot while riding. That's not happening too often, so yeah, I normally always get the shot that I want to, but I'm realizing that sometimes the focus needs more time to adjust. So for that I have to take a few more photos, so be aware of that. And where the autofocus definitely has a tough time is riding in low light conditions. For example, last week I cycled for sunrise with some friends, and I realized that a lot of photos while riding when it was darker didn't really focus so good. But yeah, while riding during normal daylight, the autofocus tends to be very usable, and for that it's not like a thing that breaks the camera for me, but it's just a thing that I want to mention out, that sometimes you have to take a few more photos to get the photo you want. If you look into the Ricoh system, you find like two different variants of this camera. There is like the GR III and now also the GR IV, and then there's a GR IIIx, and in the future there will definitely come like a GR IVX camera. So the main line and the X line are separated by the focal length. The X line, which I have here, the GR IIIx, has a 40mm focal length, and the GR III and GR IV has a 28mm focal length. And actually this is personal preference. I myself enjoy a lot more 40mm than I do 28. I have another camera with a 28mm focal length, and I never really got into touch with it, and for that I choose a 40mm camera. Of course, while riding sometimes you can be you have to go a bit too far away to have like the whole rider in frame. But for me actually sometimes that's also a good thing, because it limits me in a good way that I have to be more creative about my photos. And for that, in terms of photos, I don't use a lot of, like, I don't tend to just make like a photo of the whole cyclist. Sometimes I'm limited in how far away I can go from the rider, so I have to focus more on details. And for that I really enjoy being like forced to do something different. 40mm allows me also to have like more background separation. For cycling that's not very important, but I use this camera also for my daily life, and for that I just like the look of the 40mm more, because it gives it more background separation and it looks much better than on a 28mm. But like I said, that's personal preference. You can choose also 28mm. Maybe for only cycling, maybe that's also the better choice, but for me, I stick with this one. The sweet spot for me would be like a 35mm focal length, but 40mm is fine. If you look into packable cameras, then you may also came across the Fuji X100 system. If someone like me who enjoys the 35mm focal length more, you could ask yourself, okay, why you don't use the Fuji X100 then? But I already used the Fuji X100 on the bike, and I always had to use a strap. There's no way I can just pack it in my jersey pocket or my bib pocket, so it's just not as packable as this camera. So yeah, I would definitely choose this one over the Fuji X100 just because it's much more packable. If you enjoyed this video, you would make me very happy if you would give it a like and maybe you would just subscribe to this channel. I post a lot of cycling content on here about my own bike rides, how I use cameras, and yeah, combine photography, filmmaking and cycling all together. So if you are interested in that, then I would be very pleased if you would follow along. Have a good day. Bye.